Watching AM Ghana on ADOA television. Now, my name is Nana Kwame Socrates. We are about to engage the Tourism Society of Ghana. They are about to launch a special project, and we will be having a discussion about that. But before that, we would be asking for information, details of this particular society, the Tourism Society of Ghana, what they are about, what their objectives are, and how they are contributing to the development of Ghana, especially in the tourism sector. And in that regard, I have Joseph Amartey, who is the Executive Director of the Tourism Society of Ghana, with me here in the studio. He's been here before, but it's been a very long time. I saw him today and I was like, oh, if we were speaking Twiga, I would say Osama Kweku. But since we are speaking English, I don't know how to say it. Ghost Kweku or what. But anyway, welcome, Mr. Amartey. Welcome to the show. And I believe you're doing well. You're looking good.
Grace, we are doing well.
I can see
like
it.
That time I used the word we are managing. You refuse to agree.
Yes, I didn't
but
accept.
I think it still holds that we are managing
and I'm
by
still
His
disagreeing
grace.
that you are living. You are living the life. We have those managing.
Okay.
Yes, some people are managing, others are surviving, and others are living.
For the fact that
you are part of.
For the fact that you are my host, I don't have any option, any other option than to accept what you are saying.
You accept where I've put in you.
You
are the Oga at the top. You know the Oga at the top. The Oga at the top, they are the ones living, and the middle ones, they are the ones managing. The lower ones, they are the survivors.
Inshallah.
Yes,
we receive it in Jesus' name.
Yes, in Jesus' name. And you hope to join your class.
Absolutely.
Among the living. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. This is another opportunity to tell us about the Tourism Society of Ghana. What exactly are you about?
Okay, once again, let me say a very big good morning to my bosses up there. I need to seek their blessings. Honorable Mohammed Awad, the Minister for Tourism, Art and Culture. I call him the young man. And then the Executive Director, Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Tourism Authority, Mr. Akosua Jimai. And then the Minister for Education, and then the last but not the least, Director General for Ghana Education Service, Mr. Eric Nkansa, for a great work that he is doing for the education sector. I say a big ayiko for this big, to this very big man. With Tourism Society of Ghana, like you have said, I have said it on this very platform severally, that it has been in existence since 2006 up to date. And then before the establishment of the institution, the feasibility study proved that many institutions who are doing tourism-related businesses were only looking at international tourism, looking at how to send people abroad and how to bring foreigners into the country. But then our organization really realized the need to probably promote domestic tourism, and especially from the grassroots. Because we realized that the youth, as at then, were left out in most of the things. If you could bear with me, 10 years back or over a decade ago, many of the youth or Ghanaian school children were not even believing in themselves and believing in what we have. You know, if you could notice, they were fan of, in fact, anything they do, Western life or Western culture. Our attire, the food they eat, and even the kind of dance and music they listen to those days. It used to be, you know, Western. But we said, no, we need to intervene, because until or before we can really, or people can understand Ghana and patronize what we have here, we ourselves as custodians of the country must also believe in what we have, and we thought it wise to start from the younger sector, the youth especially. So that has been the operation or the mindset. But then looking at that, we realize that if we want to target the youth, where do we get the masses of the youth? Within the educational institutions, looking at the basic school, senior high school, tertiary institution. So we had to dialogue with the Ghana Education Service years back to give us a mandate, because, you know, I always salute Ghana Education Service. It's one of the institutions I've always respected for the fact that they don't just give you right to enter into their jurisdiction. They make sure they scrutinize, they make sure they assess you, they make sure you have the credibility and you know what you are are up to before they give you the mandate or the permission to probably come work with them. So they did all that, what we call due diligence, and they realized that, you know, Tourism Society of Ghana, TOSOGHA, is fit to probably operate. So we had a license or the permission to move to the schools and establish the clubs there. And by God's grace and what we promised them we will be doing, we did it with follow-up reports, because they believe in report. I said I'll do A, B, C, D in long term or in short term. So what have you been able to achieve? So we did that, and of course they really had the confidence in us. But before that, I realized that there are a lot of organizations that still go to GES. They thought we were one of them, because a lot of institutions come to GS. Okay, I want to do tourism club, I want to do this, do that. But then most of them have some sort of mindset by maybe one, either extorting money from the school children, you want to do excursion, organize for their personal interest. But no, those who know us on authority, we don't organize tours, taking monies from the school children. Our major mandate is to do the tourism clubs, or do what we call tourism education. So first point of contact, we engage with the teachers. Every school that we enter give us a teacher. We call them school coordinators, because we know these students are so vulnerable. We can't deal with the student direct. We must get a teacher representative. Exactly, go to teachers. So we organize what we call first-hand workshop for them, and we orient them on the mission, the vision, and objectives of the Tourism Society of Ghana. They understand it first, then they also engage the children, and then they sell to them who we are and what we want to do for them. And then as I also go, you realize that before you join an association, we have something we call freedom of association. And when you go to the secondary schools especially, they have other clubs, like they have a wildlife club, they have Boy Scouts club and all that. This is purely cadet and all. But this is a tourism club. And like I said, freedom of association. But coincidentally, anytime we do our presentation, or at the end of the presentation, our club end up collapsing some clubs. Why? Because our benefits are so rich, and one of the basic or the common benefit that we pride ourselves is the Liberty Card. Once you become a member of the Tourism Society of Ghana, we get to what we call Liberty Card. And this Liberty Card enables you visit some tourist attraction sites which we have business with. It enables you enter those sites free of charge. Okay. And we started a piloting in Greater Accra. I think the first institution we signed up that with, we wrote a letter to the National Museum and Monument Board, because they have the museums under them nationwide. And then we had that right. And then we also went to the Kwame Nkrumah Museum, which is just here. So they gave us a rep there, I think Eddie. So anytime the student get there with the ID card, just show the ID card, they take records, you enter free of charge. So you can imagine the children were really, because the mindset was, I want them to have the interest in visiting the attraction sites. In other words, also, we want to help them practicalize what they study in the classroom, because GES has it clear that students keep whatever they are taught about 70% when they see it. Because if I tell you this is book and you haven't seen the book, you only believing on imaginations. How does it look like? What is it? You may even be taking book to radio or book to any other thing. So this is the success story, how far tourism has come, and this is how.
So in 2006 you were set up.
Yes, please.
Okay. So was it that at the time you realized that perhaps the Ghana Tourism Authority was not doing much, or they were not paying much attention to the youth? Why did you decide to come in and then target the youth specifically? Okay. When we have the Ghana Tourism Authority, which is the mother body who's supposed to be doing this.
That's very good. Sometimes there are certain information people are not aware, and let me take this opportunity per your question to also educate listeners that we have the mother body, which is the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. It's a policy body, and it has its agencies, over 10 agencies under the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture, and of which Ghana Tourism Authority happen to be one of the agencies. But they have their rules or their mandates. They are regulators. They only regulate the system, give license, make sure you meet a standard to operate in any tourism related business. But then, as part of their operations, their mandate is also to promote domestic tourism, which they were doing. Okay. you know. But then we realized that the attention had not been given that much to the youth wing. They were doing though, but the attention or the force that's supposed to be given to it was what we realized that sitting back, we saw that gap. So seeing that gap, we saw it to be a problem. So how do we come in to help solve that problem? So at the end of the day, we wrote a letter to Ghana Tourism Authority, and then we were given a mandate. By then, it was during the Honorable late Jake time. We worked with Jake, we worked with the Honorable former Chief Director, Chief of Staff, Julius Debra. He was then at the Ghana Tourism Authority. And then I think Mr. Osebonso, may his soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Gideon Ayikwe also came. And then currently, as we speak, Mr. Akosajima is there. So they do same thing. But we came in as experts that we are within the youth wing. So therefore, we want to partner them. So from day one, our operations has been in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority. They support us with materials, they give us financial support, and then they have the experts. So most of the things they do, we engage them or they engage us and make sure we play a role. And when we talk of the stakeholders that play role in the Ghana Tourism Authority activities, Tourism Society of Ghana is not left out.
Okay. So tell us about what exactly you do when you go to these schools and you set up the tourism clubs. Do you set up, is it drama clubs that you set up, poetry clubs? What exactly do you do in the drama clubs that you set up in the schools?
Now, when you look at the tourism sector, the sector here today, it has been three elements that has been put together. That's it: tourism, art, and culture. And all these things you have mentioned, one way or the other, belong to one of these very segments or sectors or categories. So we go to the schools. One of the things we also notice or realize is that over the years, Ghana Education Service has been doing something they call cultural festival. The cultural festival, they start from local, I mean the school level, the district level, they go to the regional and the national. Ask yourself, at the end of the national event, what next? Students will be adjudged best drama group, what next? Students will be adjudged best cook art, best visual artist, you know. All these people belong to the tourism sector. There are some people who also musicians or they perform and that kind of stuff. But we came in that, okay, now this is a big gap. At the end of the day, we have realized that Socrates, you are good in this area. You have been adjudged the winner. We as a tourism practitioners or who have the technical know-how, what do? We need to also link you to a capable organization so that your talent could be unearthed the more. Now, we're coming back to your question, what we do in the classroom, based on the areas I have stated to you, the tourism, art, and culture, we come up with what we call annual plan of work. The annual plan of work, during their extra curriculum activity, that's these clubs activities are mostly held or organized after normal classes hours. We call them extra curriculum activities. So we meet for not more than 45 minutes. We have topics that we give to the coordinators, like I said earlier, first-hand information. And then some of the areas we discuss are, let's say, importance of traveling, know your tourist attraction sites, importance of festivals. We also do exchange programs with them. We make sure we educate them what this sector stands for, because most of the people even who belong to certain tribes or certain religions don't understand those things very well. So we also come in during the club meeting hours, we discuss some of these things with them, and above all, we encourage them to practice all these things that we teach them. And on that note, well, sometimes we make sure that they go to the attraction sites, they go to their festivals. I mean, they travel to have knowledge on all these things that we studied there. So tourism side of Ghana, it's not about it's not tourism club, so it's about going for excursion. No, we do pure classroom work, which we have annual plan of work that we meet and then teach the children. As part of what we teach them, we try to assess them to make sure that what we have taught the children, at least it has stick the mind, and then we find a way of doing that assessment, and then we also award those people. At a point, I realized that those from the basic school go to migrate to senior high school, and after senior high school, they again go to the tertiary, and then they step out of school. So after creating your interest in the tourism space and you are out of school, what next? So that is why we came out and we established what we call public chapters of the Tourism Society of Ghana. And the public chapters, fortunately for us, more of the membership are people within the informal sector. You know, the fashion designers, the musicians, the food sellers, you know, these are the people we bring together because they are all part of the sector, you know, in that way.
How exactly have you identified the youth to be positive agents of promoting domestic tourism?
You know, the world is growing now, and I always say that the youth are the chunk population of the world globally. The youth form about 60 to 70%. That's one, you take it or leave it. So therefore, when we talk of technology, which today technology has been the lead of everything that we do. Even a time is coming, I'm not even going to bath alone, cry to be through technology. You just be on your bath before you are up from bed, you've taken your bath. You know, we are getting there. And the youth are people who usually have command when we talk of technology. And our parents today or grandparents have said that they were born before computers. Today, what a young guy could use a phone to do or computer to do, you have no idea. It will even amaze you. So we feel the youth are now at a very strategic point to help promote domestic tourism. How do we promote it or how do we market it? Now, if you are eating your bangkun alone, the youth can just pick a phone and write a little thing about bangkun, even have benefits of bangkun. You travel to an attraction site, take a selfie picture. I mean, you get on social media, you just write something, tell people about this story. I mean, things that are happening could easily be marketed through the youth platform. So we feel the youth cannot be left out so far as tourism is concerned. And let me use this opportunity to congratulate and let me give him a standing ovation. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana. It happened, a maiden event we did, which was dubbed as Presidential Summit on Tourism. Guess what happened? All the stakeholders within the sectors were part of it. It was a 2-day seminar, and it was first in history in this country so far as tourism is concerned. We had it at Peduasi Lodge, a 2-day summit. The president was there the first day. He sat with us. We had a dining together. I mean, a lunch together. He spent virtually the whole day. The next day, the chief of staff came. And where I'm so happy is that the youth of this country were not left out. So it tells that the youth is on the heart of government and it's on the heart of the Ghana Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. We were there to make our submission. The youth were highly represented. And of course, we feel it's an opportunity that we, the youth who are within the sector now, we can now make noise. We can now tell the government that, come on, we need A, B, C, D. That's why TOSOGHA, we keep advocating for the youth and making sure that any youth who are doing anything tourism related must come on board, because the youth has what it takes to sell Ghana tourism. And of course, if the tourism sector, the Ministry of Tourism, don't really pay attention on the youth, trust me, we don't have a future for Ghana tourism. So the youth, deliberate attempts as they are doing now, we know they are doing their best, but we are saying that we are asking for more.
What do we stand to gain if we are supposed to invest more time? I mean the youth invest more time in the promotion of tourism, domestic tourism particularly. What do we stand to gain? What is in it for the youth?
You know, the opportunities within the tourism space, I always say it's numerous, 1,001 opportunities, because you know virtually every profession, one way or the other, linked to tourism. Whether you are within the health sector, you are linked to tourism. You are the fashion designer, linked to tourism. You are a psychologist, linked to tourism. Whatever profession you belong to, you link to the tourism. So I know not every youth has probably undergone a training in tourism, but anything that they are doing could be linked to tourism. So back to your question, that what do you stand to gain if you should invest your time within the tourism sector? Trust me, any youth from today who decide to take the decision to be part of tourism, it's an investment, because in the year 2, 3, 4 from now, tourism is going to lead Ghana. Already, tourism now, as I speak to you now, the rate and the speed at which tourism is coming, you have no idea. So we feel this is a time for every youth to really be very creative, have an idea, be part of this very agenda. Then at the end of the day, we all win. Now, what are we getting? The country Ghana, it's for you, it's for me, it's for us, the youth. So if we don't really make good news or noise about the country Ghana, who is going to sell Ghana for us? If your father has given birth to you, your father has a project, you, the youth, it is your mandate. Even in the Bible, it says that the young one or the youth can really worship or serve God better than in your older days or ages. So the youth here, even if you don't get
the scripture is remember you created the days of the youth. Yes, I know my Bible.
Thank you very much, my brother. You know, so I feel the youth has if you don't get anything at all, you are putting your country on the map. And once your country is put on the map and people see the need to come to the country to invest them more, when the investment is done, definitely your sector will be affected one way or the other.
Tell us about the next big project on sites or within sites of the Tourism Society of Ghana. What is the biggest thing upcoming?
Oh my God. Our big event, once again I say a big thank you to Ghana Education Service, Ministry of Education, for having the confidence in us. I think during 2019-2020, COVID hit the industry, though it affected every sector though, but we say that the tourism sector were hardly hit with the COVID-19.
Were hit the hardest.
I'm telling you honestly. So many businesses were shut down. And that, we as the Tourism Society of Ghana, our operations also came down because no meeting, no social gathering, nothing. So we're not doing anything. So after the COVID, as part of the activities to bounce back, we've been behind the scenes working with our stakeholders, like I've mentioned, Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, Ghana Tourism Authority. We have been able to come out with a plan to rejuvenate the tourism clubs within the schools and extend it to the regions where we don't have the club. On this note, we have scheduled 20th, come Monday. We are doing a big media launch of rejuvenating tourism clubs within schools across the country, which is in line with the presidential team during the rethinking tourism. So we are saying that using tourism clubs to rethink tourism. And this media launch, our co-special guests of honor who are coming are the Minister for Education, Honorable Educhum is coming, and then the Minister for Tourism, Honorable Mohammed Awa. They are the special guests of honor coming. And then we have a key guest speakers who are the Director General of Education, Honorable Eric Inkansa, and then the Mr. Akosi Ajimai, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority. They are the major guest speakers because this tourism club project is in partnership with Ghana Education Service, Ghana Tourism Authority, and then Tourism Society of Ghana. So come 20th, by 9:30 we are all seated. By 10 we have a heavy representative of the media, including ADOA TV, at least to launch our activity. Then we just roll up our second and third activities and the 2024 annual plan of work officially. We have some program. We have dialogue with GES. We think there are certain programs that need to come back again. Before we used to know of excursions. Today we don't see them. And one thing that I always give a thumbs up to Ghana Education Service for the fact that they are very strict in their operations. You know, it feels like they don't allow teachers to organize the excursion, but no. They are making sure that the right things are done. Because if they should give opportunity to teachers just to be organizing excursion, going to tour sites, like by this time, the problem that Ghana will be having will be that huge. So now they have policies that before you go for an excursion, you have to bring a letter. Tell us the reason why you want to go. If you bring vehicle number, driver's license, and all sort of thing. So we have told them that now as we are coming in there, we are going to make sure that we help to streamline that sort of policy they have brought, because it's a good thing. And we are rolling up our next year activity, the Youth in Tourism Festival, and then also we're going to also again look at the annual summer camping for the school children, because this is the time the student must be traveling to attraction sites. We want to do a tent camping at a particular attraction site, so we are looking at the numbers, or we leave with the universities to give us accommodation to do that. And then we have the national tourism quiz. You know, for some time now we don't even hear all these things, so the quiz is coming in. And then there are an annual cultural festival. We Tourism Society of Ghana, we have pledged our support, and we are partnering the Ghana Education Service to do the annual cultural festival. Then from there, those who will be merged as winners, we see how we can also support them through our platforms.
Beyond the setting up of tourism clubs in schools, how does one become a member of the Tourism Society of Ghana? Do you have forms? You are selling offices?
Yes, I think we have everything online, the Tourism Society of Ghana.com, and then we have forms. Our offices are, we have office branches that you can visit any of our office. The operational office Center for National Culture. Anybody who wants to work with us can visit. Or our headquarters is in Ajingano. That's where we have the headquarters, Ajingano office. But then when you talk about forms, like I said, before 2016, if you want to join the club, we don't pay anything. The membership forms are free. You download them, you fill it, then you just send them to us. But because of the digitalization, so now we are doing everything online. You fill form online, and then you submit it to us, and other things that are added. Everything is on the site. 2016, before, the children used to pay a token as a dues to support this society, which is done everywhere. But we don't deal with the parent directly. Every child who has interest, when we give you the form, you don't fill the form in the school. You take the form to your parents. So on the form, the parent has their information, their name, their telephone numbers. Your mother has, your father has, and the school head also has this information. So the parent will approve. So any member who is part of Tourism Society of Ghana is approved by his or her mother. So the mother knows that my child has joined this tourism club, and at the end of every month or every academic term, I need to support the tourism club on behalf of my ward to make the club run. Like I made mention, one of the benefits is using our Liberty card to visit some attraction sites free of charge, and those sites must be maintained. And out of these token dues that we take, we use some to also manage, pay their visitation to the site, and also management of the offices, the workshop or training that we do for the teachers that I made mention earlier. So all these things are things that we have put in place. Like I said, now we have closed our site. We want to do the launching on 20th because we are updating it with new information. But anybody who want to reach us, any parents, maybe you have a child in a school and you feel the child has to be part of the Tourism Society of Ghana, or you have a school and you want to be part of us, you can call on us. Our numbers are always available. Let me give this number out. Use this platform: 0244 927017. 0244-927017, or you can call our office line 0302-944-637. When you call, you can reach us and whatever information, or you can visit our social media platform. It's all about Tourism Society of Ghana. If you want to know more about us, just take your phone and Google Tourism Society of Ghana, or our we are known by TOSOGHA. You can just Google TOSOGHA. You can get all information that you want from us. Just 3 years ago, we went one step ahead to partner with the Ghana Police Service, more especially the DOFSO division, because
that is an interesting one. Why did you need? We are talking about tourism promotion, and you are partnering with the Ghana Police Service.
You know, we believe in security. We want people's children to be protected in all ways. So as part of our partner with the police, the DOFSO especially, we give them the platform to meet the children within their classrooms, to educate them on the perpetrators, create more awareness on issues of domestic violence and child-related offenses. One thing that I don't like is when I see an elderly person playing with a child, a young girl, saying, my wife, my wife, my wife. I hate this, and I don't even want to hear it, because the more you say it, the more it sticks in the child's mind. So the person grows with it. Even if you try to do any harm to the child, he sees it to be normal, because even the mother says that this is a husband, this is a wife. I want to use this medium to tell every parent who practice that to stop. It's a bad habit. Also, when we go to the attraction site, some people take advantage of the younger ones within the societies, and then they take undue advantage sometimes because of their situations. You know, they give them some small coins, they lure them into their hotels and do all these things. We don't really like all these things to happen, and we are not experts or professionals to do that. That is why we engaged the Ghana Police of the DOFSO to do that. Unfortunately, before COVID, due to COVID, we couldn't do anything active. But after our media launch, God willing, on 20th of coming Tuesday, we are going to roll up all these things to make sure, because so any child who's any parents whose child joined Tourism Society of Ghana, we are assuring you that security is excellent.
How many members do you have so far?
Now we have over 70,000 membership nationwide. Yes,
70,000.
Basic school, senior high school, tertiary, and then the public. I think 2018 we launched the tertiary chapter. The idea is to bring all universities who are doing tourism and culture related courses together to be the tertiary chapter of the event. And we launched it at Kumasi, KNUST. And His Royal Majesty Otumfo was the chairperson for that event at Kumasi. Okay. He couldn't come in person, but his next in command came. But he was the one. We went there officially to ask for that permission. You know, as usual, custom demand when you are going to, you need to send your drinks. So all those protocols were there. And then we were supported by one Mr. David Nana Enim, who is also the president of the Royal Chiefs Association. He was there at Kumasi. And then our former minister, Honorable Catherine Abelema Afeku, I salute you wherever you are. And then the former minister, Honorable Elizabeth Ofusu Ejari. She is one woman who also has passion for this tourism. So we try to make sure we explore all avenues to make sure that Tourism Society of Ghana become a big household name to sell the interest of the youth.
Since you are already mentioning names of people who are supporting the association in diverse ways, how do you go about funding your activities and your projects? Is it all from the amount you generate internally, from the dues that you collect from your members?
It hasn't been easy for us since 2016 up to date, and I'm using this opportunity to appeal to the government so that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Minister of Tourism, and any other stakeholders, that since 2016 up to date, our operation has been tough because we stopped taking dues due to a policy that the government brought of free education. And you know, Ghanaians and their understanding, when it is free education, when they say come and pay dues of even 50 pesos, a child may go home and tell the parent, Mommy, they say I should bring school fees. And GES, they are strict. If you don't take it, before you realize, headmaster will be dismissed, or regional director, district director will be dismissed. So for that matter, let's cancel that off. We cancel. So since 2016 up to date, we have not even taken. Are
all your members in school? Don't you have out of school members?
We have out of school members, but like I'm saying, chunk of the members are within the school. Okay. And when we talk of the funding, we have institutions that sometimes we fall on since we stop taking the dues. So like I said, Ghana Tourism Authority, most of the students practical or the tours that we do, Ghana Tourism Authority give us means to go. And one thing they do also is that anytime our children represent in any national tourism program, they make sure the children are comfort, they are fed, and everything they do for the children. No child can say on authority that we have levied them any money to do any activity. No, we don't do that. Always it is being supported. The Ministry of Tourism, they always do well that any event that they do that is of national interest, they make provision for the youth. They just call us, we give a budget, and then they give us that support. But then also, we have other institutions that also support us. Today, one of the institutions that is supporting us the most, and once you have mentioned, let me take the opportunity to acknowledge Madam Grace Mausi Suka. Grace Mausi Suka is the managing director of Mausi Catering Service, not in Accra, Swedro. And when you go there, she has a local setup and her food tastes good. She's supporting. We have Dodi Island. Dodi Travel, which they are also supporting us greatly. Dodi Travel, they are supporting. And then we have few agencies also who are doing so well. When you go to Dawa Restaurant, Winneba, Madam Samira, she's also supporting us. And not only them, we have few Delhi Lodge. I mean, they are all supporting in this upcoming event. Waheguru Travel are also supporting. We have Fun Ice Project who are also coming in to support. So we've been engaging with few institutions. Last year, I can say TT Brothers did so well. Ghana Cocoa Board have also promised to give us. So we don't sleep because we are working or we are representing vulnerable.
That's a good number of supporters that you've mentioned, and you still need more.
They are not enough in the sense that, you know, in Ghana project, before one may understand what you are doing better, to give you that 100% support, it comes with so many things. So these people I'm mentioning, they are people who come in as and when there is a project or program. But we need a regular funding because, trust me, we spend a lot of money. As I speak to you now, our account is even minus. and we need to do a whole lot. So we are pleading, if the government, because this is a youth thing we are doing, it's a national school project. So if we can allocate some funding so that at least we can do that. I like some of the politicians who are aspiring for president. Most of them are already talking about youth in tourism. I think His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has touched on that. We are calling on him to come to our aid. Honorable Kennedy Japan, he also talked about youth in tourism. So I think the NDC has a plan. We are waiting for Ekuyadon Kope. Perhaps she also has a plan. And Apollo also,
from her?
Not yet. I'm waiting to hear. And then Apollo also, we are trying to maybe Achiribusum. Thank you. Perhaps Hima also. So we can say that virtually all the people who have interest or are into politics have interest in youth in tourism. So this is the time we need to dialogue with them so that we move on. Last but not the least, the chief of Kushia, Asin Kushia. Do you know Asin Kushia very well?
I've heard. I've not been there.
Asin Kushia now has the biggest palace in Africa. Asin Kushia is the neatest community so far. When you go there, you don't see a drop. And of course,
Asin Kushia. That will be in the central region.
Let's find time on our next tour. We can arrange so that you visit. This is a place that we need to make sure. And the environment is so serene. And we are looking at doing our next campaign there. We are recommending that place to people to factor into their tour itineraries and that kind of stuff.
What has been your biggest success story so far since you were set up to this point? Your biggest success story, the biggest achievement?
I think when we talk of awards, we, Tourism Society of Ghana, received the Ghana Tourism Authority Tourism Club of the Year 2016, 2015 Domestic Tourism Promoters of the Year. We have from Ghana Tourism Authority. Now, the biggest success that I can talk about when we talk about tourism or domestic tourism in Ghana is that Tourism Society of Ghana has won. And today, through our effort, most Ghanaian children, the youth and the students especially, now understand tourism. They now understand that I need to eat Ghana food, I need to wear Ghana clothing, I need to travel to a tourist attraction site. So we feel this alone is a big success to us as an organization because it is an agenda. We want to change the mindset. Generation yet unborn, we want them to understand tourism because people don't really have that understanding. So we are really happy for the fact that people are gradually understanding what tourism is all about. So when we talk about biggest success, these are the things I can talk about.
Joseph Amartey is the Executive Director of the Tourism Society of Ghana, and we are just about wrapping up on this our conversation. But what should we expect from TOSOGHA in the next, say, 5 years with the lot that you have done so far? Looking forward, futuristically, what
with the launch that we are about doing, TOSOGHA has a lot, and we are an organization that don't just make noise. Because we are dealing with an institution who are very strict. That's the Ghana Education Service. So anything you do, you make sure you do it well. Yeah, okay. What we are, you can expect from Tourism Society of Ghana now, it's our 4 major programs that we are coming to roll up, God willing, on the 20th. And then the first one, we are looking at the Youth in Tourism Festival that is coming back in the Grand Star. We are looking at the National Tourism Quiz Competition. We are looking at, because the quiz competition, we want it to be even bigger than maths and science quiz. Yes, tourism is going to come. Because if we are saying that tourism is going to be the biggest thing in some few years to come, we want to make sure that the science and maths quiz, because we have to set that thing within, or the children must know, do this competition stuff for them, award them with attractive things for that student will understand. So we are going to roll up this event. So and then the last but not the least, our annual campaign. We still want to make sure that we dialogue very well with the GES, so that this excursion thing, at least every month, if a school could go on a tour with well-planned thing, you understand? At least this is what we expect the public to see. So you'll be seeing the buses moving, the school buses moving from one side to another. We're going to make sure that is done. So we want to thank God so much that these programs I'm mentioning, the Ghana Education Service has really approved it for us, and of course we are making sure that this thing really becomes so fruitful. We are not just holding this as a document, but we are going to make sure that we make good use of it.
The quiz matter is something that you'll be looking forward to, something that
after the launch.
Yes, after
we're looking at the
launch,
quiz and then the
culture
festival
quiz. No, I mean the national culture tourism quiz. National tourism quiz.
Yes, please.
So we're asking questions like, where is the Kakum National Park located?
It could be a question.
Such questions,
yes. Talking about festivals, we talk about our languages. I mean, you know, today
you wouldn't have many questions to ask,
We have a lot. We have a lot. See, let me tell you one thing. Like I said earlier, the sectors, I mean the three areas that has put together, that's the tourism, art and culture. When we talk of art, the questions are low under art.
Plenty. Okay.
Because you know all musicians belong to art center, and the art, we have the visual art before we have the musicians, we have other forms of art. All these are areas that we're going to get questions. When we talk of culture, traditional stuff, they are all there, chieftaincy issues and all these things are there. So the questions are tourism, they don't go there. Talking about trashing, talking about leadership, talking about, I mean, a whole lot of. They say we are going to give them assignments, you know, how do I even, we're going to give them a challenge. We're going to give them a challenge to at least come up with solutions, and the students out there are ever ready to do that. And then the last but not the least, we are also going to empower our students who are within the TVET sector or the secondary and the vocational institutions who are doing tourism related courses like the visual art, the home economics, you know, all these people. We're going to make sure that they see it as a big course they are doing, and they must give an attention to it. Well,
thank you very much for your time. But if you can go over the dates and the times for the launch of this one again. You said it's 20th. The date is 20th.
The date is 20th. The coming Tuesday. Coming Tuesday, 20th of June.
2023.
Yes, please. At Accra Tourist Information Center, opposite Afrikiko. And then the co-guest speakers are Honorable Educhum, Minister for Education, Honorable Mohammed Awa, Minister for Tourism, and then the speakers are the Honorable Eric Nkansa, the Director General for Education, and then the Ghana Tourism Authority Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Akwesi Ejima. But please, don't forget, it is strictly by invitation. If you are not invited, don't venture. And then also, if you want to come, you can still call us for us to give you a special invitation. I think the earlier the better if you want to come.
Okay. Joseph Amartey, Executive Director, Tourism Society of Ghana. If you have any last words to say, and you can go over the number that you gave out for anyone that has interest in supporting the activities of the Tourism Society of Ghana. You can put out the number again and then your last words before we conclude on this chapter.
Okay, thank you. I think once again I want to take this opportunity to let me say thank our sponsors, those who are supporting us in this very upcoming launch. We have the Spring Consort, we have the Delhi Lodge, we have Dodi Travel, who is a major sponsor or headline sponsor of this upcoming event. We have the Mausi Catering services at Swedru. We also have the Fine Ice. We also have a Dawa restaurant, and then other individuals who are throwing their support or their weight behind us in this thing that we are doing. And of course, I also want to use this very medium once again to also let the Ghanaians know that tourism is a thing now. Tourism is what we eat. Tourism is what we drink. Let's do everything tourism. No matter where you find yourself, have it in mind that tourism is a thing. And forget about traveling to other countries to seek for greener pastures. We can do it here. We can make it here. Okay.
The last bit is the controversial part. Forget about traveling to other countries to see greener pastures. We can do it here. Yes, we can. Quoting Barack Obama. Yes, we can. But anyway, that was Joseph Amartey, Executive Director, Tourism Society of Ghana. Thank you very much for your time and the information that you've given. And then we wish you all the best, the Tourism Society of Ghana, in your future endeavors. And we pray that you get more sponsors, enough funds, so that you can go about your activities, creating the awareness, especially in the young ones, so they grow with it. The eating Ghana, drinking Ghana, wearing Ghana. You know, so at least today I'm wearing Ghana.
I'm so happy to see you
wear
Ghana.
That's our own small way of also contributing towards the work of the Tourism Society of Ghana. We're also helping.
You are doing your work.
We are partners. Thank you very much.
So, and then also Ewura is giving us she's having the drinks. She's serving us all the local drinks that need to be done. Ewura drinks. We're also expecting UKGA's culinary services also to be there, God willing. So we are so grateful, and we thank you also for giving us this opportunity. We know ADOA have been part of us. Our success story in future cannot be said without ADOA TV. God bless you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I was looking to read some of the messages that came, but I'm struggling to find them here on my phone. But I'll read them. I'll read them later. Maybe since you are not gone yet, I'll read them. So thank you very much for your time. So this is still AM Ghana that you're watching. We are not done yet. We still have another very educative conversation to be had on the show. You'll be receiving Dr. Edu from Edu Herbal Clinic here on the show, and we will be talking impotence and infertility. My name is Nana Kwame Socrates. Don't go anywhere. We are taking a short break. We will be back.